Okay, these are the 2-3 notes, and I did these last because they're after the 2-4 notes in your note packet. So I didn't really label them very well. So we're going to estimate the value of a derivative numerically. And this kind of question is on the AP test all the time. This might have been an old one, but you need to know that derivative is the same as slope, especially for a problem like this. So this is asking me to find the slope, t prime, and here's t and t, little t in time, and capital T is temperature. And they want me to find in other words, this is the rate of change at the temperature at 5.5. Now this will be an estimate, and since 5.5 is between 5 and 6, you want to use the numbers that are on each side of 5.5. So we are just going to do the slope. So I'm going to do my change in y. Oops. 90.73 minus 90.45 all over 5 minus 6. So when we calculate that out, that becomes negative 0.28. Now that is the answer. Now this doesn't say, but you're usually supposed to put down what this measurement is. Well, this is time in minutes, if you look up here, and this is degrees Fahrenheit right here. So what this means is at the time 5.5 minutes, the temperature is changing at a rate of negative 0.28 degrees Fahrenheit per minute. I'll come over in a couple minutes. And it says, perhaps you could recall a very important equation from Algebra 1, which is point slope form. This is what I'm going to use. Now, Mr. Record went ahead and put this down in this form, which is in function notation with derivative here. But this is the exact same thing. That's your y1, this is your slope, and this is your x1 right here. So we're going to use this point slope form to find tangent lines a lot this year. All right, this graph says find for the function f that's graphed here below, says right there that's graph f, that it consists of 3 line segments, find f prime of 4. So this means what is the slope at 4? So if you look here, here's 2, here's 4. So if I carry this thing up here, this is where your point is on the graph of f. We want the slope, and since this line is a straight line, we can do the old Algebra 1 stuff. We can do rise over run. So I'm going from 1 to 13, that's a rise of 12. I'm going from 0 to 6, that's a run of 6. So this is going to be 12 over 6, which is fine for an answer in this class. You do not need to simplify. If you do, you can put down 2. The function f is defined on the closed interval of the graph of the derivative of f. Y equals f prime is given below. So this is the slope. It says y is f prime. And it says this is the graph. So this is f prime here. And I would write that to show everybody. It says the point 14, negative 2 is on the graph of y f of x. Now that, I don't know why he used y again. It shouldn't be that because this is saying different than this. But this is saying this is the regular point. This is a point right here. In other words, that's my x1, y1. And an equation of the tangent line of the graph at f equals 14, negative 2. Again, that is the point, x1, y1. So if I go to 14, this is the same x as this x, but this is f prime of 14. In other words, this 3 is the slope. That is your m. And this is your x1, y1. So you can put that into your formula. It'd be y minus negative 2, because that's my y1, is going to equal 3 times x minus 14. And that's your equation right there. Now you're going to have to find which one of these this is. So this is y plus 2 equals 3 times x minus 14, and I found that to be this one right here. So I don't need to solve for y because that's the right answer. Coming down for example 8, it says if the line 2x plus 3y equals k is tangent to the graph of y equals f of x at the point where x is 5, the value of this is what? Well, we need to find this stuff. And it says y is f of x. So in other words, this thing right here is your f of x. That thing right there. And we're doing when x is 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. And it says it's tangent to. So that means it's going to touch. So in other words, this point is going to be the same point on both the tangent and on the function, because when you have a function and a tangent line, they intersect at the same point. That point is in common, x, y. And this is saying that the x value is 5 right here. So we're going to get that 2 times 5 plus 3y is going to equal k. Now let's see. So I'm going to take this thing right here, and I'm going to solve for that y right there. So actually, I'm going to leave this in x and solve for it. Sorry. I'm going to leave that in x. So when I subtract 2x over, I'm going to get 3y equals 2x plus k. Then I'm going to divide by 3 and get y equals 2/3 x plus k. Well, what I need to realize is this thing right here, that is my slope, which is my f prime at 5. So if I look over here, this is the definition of the derivative. So that means this thing right here is equal to f prime at 5. This and this are equal from what we had in previous notes for this being the definition of a derivative. So if I look right here, that 2/3 is what this thing is going to equal. And I made a mistake because I should have subtracted this 2x over to here, which makes that negative 2/3, which makes B my answer. What is a tangent line? Okay, we've already done all that. All right, so we are done with the notes. I think that's all of them, and I will see you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble. Do what's right, not what's popular. And I'll see you guys next week.